What's up,
Sinalo
guys?
style, pero to!
This guy. It's your boy Mike Reyes. You already know.
Yung mga big man ini-involved. No? Max Bello has been open but he hasn't been taking the shots. But this
J.R. Gallarza, second three of the game. Great taste, three-point shot. Great taste white, the coffee we super like.
This guy. What's up, man?
boy?
How you doing? How you
Where
doing?
you been, man? Fuck, been a while.
How you
Hi,
doing,
guys.
though, man? What's going on?
I'm good. Just trying to bug
Alright.
people.
So
Bug
you're
some-
going. You're blonde. Yo, you being blonde, you look more K-pop, Korean more than Filipino right now, boy.
This is how this whole episode is gonna go. I'm just warning everybody watching right now. This is how the whole episode is gonna go. Because everybody knows that we were former teammates. We were part of the bonfire game, the bonfire year. So we've been through a lot. Guys, I'm joined by J.R. Gallarza, who hasn't been in the Philippines since deciding to pass on the PBA draft. So this is a story that I would love to share because I've been with JR for a good maybe four years maybe.
Man, and
4
honestly,
years.
like I've had like butterflies all day thinking about this interview because I just feel like it could go really left at any point because of how much like me versus like the other guests you've had. Like me and you had a lot of time together, and we know a lot about each other. And
Yeah, you can't fool me with I was a nice guy. I really was just all studies and basketball. And everybody knows you as the dude who studied hard. You were laude. You graduated honors. You had a good college
magna.
career. You had a son during your
Early.
second year in the league.
Second year in the Philippines, bro.
Second year in the Philippines. So everybody thinks of you as, oh shit, J.R. Gallarza is like goals, nicest guy there is.
No, it was We'll definitely get into that stuff.
Oh,
but
yeah, for sure.
It was
It was a crazy time.
Man,
It was a crazy time.
It was looking back at it, it's just like I don't know how either of us
Made it out.
I don't know. It's just honestly, to get to where we are right now. Let's just put it that way.
Guys, it's just I know that people know JR again as he was the perfect example, to be honest with you guys, because of how he went through his college career. He transferred, but this is exciting because I know that JR hasn't really gone back, walked down memory lane in a while. So this is what's
not
fun.
the right way, not the right way.
Not the right way. With the regrets maybe, but with the good things, I don't know. So yeah, man, I'm joined by J.R. Gallarza. He's in Canada right now, if I'm not mistaken. He's in Canada. He's been there for the past how many years, bro? 8?
When did I
No, not
graduate?
8, not 8. 2015.
I'm not that old.
6
2015.
years. 6 years.
6 years? Yeah, because I started my business literally the year after, 2016.
2016.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been there for 6 years, and it's gonna be fun to get to know JR's story and also where he is right now and what he's been doing.
Yeah,
All right,
man.
so
where
did it start? Where did it start, man? Where did your basketball journey start?
Man, really every Filipino kid's upbringing. My dad put a ball in my hand. I didn't even know what the Philippines was all about because my parents never really told me about it as much. Or they might have told me, but I never really took in how they grew up versus how I saw like my peers, like you guys were around. Like, I just thought everybody was like province life.
Yeah.
I never thought of like Manila. I never until I actually got there when I was younger and visited the place. But even when I did visit, I always went to like Pampanga, which is where my parents are from, but like they're like from poor Pampanga. Like my mom was really poor. But yeah, so my dad came out here just before I was born. Like my mom was pregnant with me. I think they had a kind of an agreement that like my dad would get set up in Canada, while my mom was just getting ready to give birth to me. So I was 2 years old when I immigrated to Canada, and when my dad got his hands on me, it was pretty much just basketball from then. And being in Canada, I did have a lot of exposure to other sports. Like a lot of my friends I grew up with, they played hockey, they played American football, some soccer here and there, but for me, basketball was just number one. And even though a lot of my friends tried to get me into other things, I just never gravitated towards it. I was basketball through and through. And I even like right now as a trainer with young people, I tell them, go play as many other sports as you can. It's just not everybody's going to be like me or like us, where basketball it's just our thing. So yeah, I grew up just playing in the city here, the small city, and then when I was a little bit older, I want to say maybe like grade 6, grade 7, maybe closer to grade 8, I started playing in. I learned about the Filipino League in Toronto, so that was huge because that opened my eyes to a whole new game. And those Filipino leagues they're like how you would like they're closest to like how the UAP games are in terms of like the energy and the crowd and the field, because it's a lot of like the titas and the moms and just the high pitched screams, and it's amazing. Of course they're not like big stadiums, it's just the high school gyms, smaller gyms here, but the noise really carries, and yeah, we just getting to play. A lot of these trophies are actually from those ones, and yeah, I love that environment. And in my city, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Wayne Gretzky, but Wayne Gretzky, he's like the Michael Jordan of hockey. He came from my city, so my city is really a hockey spot. So basketball is really, I want to say, conservative compared to how Filipino basketball is, where it's loud, energy. I got all that, just yelling and one and fist bumps and all that. I got to really be me when I got to play with the Filipino League. Over here, yeah, man, like I got to be Filipino. But when I was playing in my city, like a lot of coaches, they would actually like tell me, you got to settle down, you got to tone it back. And I was like, I just can't. Like my energy is, I think you remember how I was. I was very high energy, high emotional player. And that's just how I was, and I was happy to actually find a place where I fit in. So with that, that actually took me to my first experience playing in the Philippines. In grade 11, I went I got invited. Yeah, I got invited to play on a tour team, so a Filipino Canadian basketball team.
You flew out.
I think
here.
So we were actually the first. We were proud. I want to say we were like before. You know how they have like the those national games there now?
Yeah.
Like for like the Filipino Australians, the Filipino Americans, all of them come down there.
Is it a tour for recruitment? So you guys were trying to get recruited. So it was all Filipino Canadians.
Yeah, so it was all Filipino Canadians. The only people at the time that we really knew of that were there that pretty much just went out on their own was Norbert Torres and John Samara. So the Samara brothers too. I don't know if you're familiar with them, but yeah, Norbert Torres is definitely a guy that you guys know.
Wait. So you grew up with Norbert?
I didn't grow up with Norbert. I grew up actually watching Norbert. So
Norbert's older than you. Norbert was pretty much an age bracket higher than you, but you were in the same circle.
Yeah. So it's Norbert was that circle. I like me and a lot of other young Filipinos. We grew up watching him, man, and he was him and Matthew Wright as well. Matthew Wright was nasty, just complete.
So dude, Matthew Wright was like a phenom. Doing, was like a phenom.
Yeah. Him, Norbert, the Samaras, AJ Sergiu, James Forrester. Like those guys were disgusting, and we were all like young guys, like looking up to these guys. Like it was kind of like that saying goes, like it's like they're your idols until they become your rivals type of thing. But like they were like to me still like they're still like I put them on a different pedestal. Like I'll always bow down to those guys because they are some of those, like I call them the founding fathers and kind of the guys that really started going to the Philippines.
Oh, so they left first. When they left, you saw them. And then that was more or less your goal, was to follow their footsteps.
I think like the people that set up our tour. So when I was in grade 11, the ones that set up our tour, they pretty much based it off of the fact that like they started hearing about more and more Filipinos starting to go over there. But really, there was only Norbert and the Samaras. So those guys, in terms of the Canadians, were really out there. On recruitment, and then from there they just took the idea of bringing guys over there and they ran with it, and that's how they set up a tour. So for us, we actually played like 30 games in 35 days.
30 games, like college, high school.
We played the high school of the colleges, like
so you played like
right?
Ateneo Blue Eaglets,
the junior teams.
The junior teams.
So
who would you remember? Who do you remember though?
Dude, looking back on it, For some reason I remember what's the school like Xavier. So
Xavier, yes.
I remember that we played against Xavier, but going into that game, they got us really mad. Like our managers and the coaches, they hyped us up because they were like, this team wants us to play, but they're not offering any scholarships for any of you.
But it's
And
a
I was
high
like,
school.
yeah, that's why. Right, we didn't really understand that. We thought every school had like a university, and so they were just like, we're just gonna play them." And so we were like, "Okay, we'll let the bench in like after we do our thing." But we were mad and whatever. And who was there? I think Jet was there. If I'm not
Jet
mistaken.
Manuel. Jeric
He
Teng.
might have been there. Is Jarek our age?
Was this
Or
2000? This is 2000 what?
What grade was I? 20? Grade 11. I graduated high school 2010, so 2008, 2009.
Yeah, 2009. Me and Jeric are batchmates. So 2009, we were already playing in the UAP. If this was in 2008,
Yeah, it was
Jeric's
earlier.
probably there.
Okay. So yeah, it was around. I think it was because I remember like I don't know if you remember John Sheriff or Jamil
John
Sheriff.
Sheriff. Yeah.
So he was on my team with that travel team. Yeah, that team that toured. And he said, yeah, like, because he was teammates with Jarek at UST.
Yeah.
He was like, yeah, Jarek remembers us. Like, he was really mad at our team.
Okay.
But the one thing I remember from my dad, he said that there's 4 schools you really want to go to or you want to get offers from because it's educational based. And again, you know me, you brought that up earlier. I'm big on education. He said LaSalle, UP, UST as the last one, and Ateneo. Yeah. So in Canada, like this is, again, mind you, everybody here, like this was before the video hype era. Like we hardly even have videos from any of this time. Nope. So we, like, for me personally, I had no offers, especially because, like I said earlier, I'm from a small city. Yeah.
Brother, my bad. You were in grade 8 or grade 11?
For this tour?
Yeah, for this
I was
tour.
grade 11.
Grade 11.
Grade
so
11.
Basically, you were looking for a scholarship for college.
For college, yeah.
Okay,
so just getting.
That's why
it
was a waste of time to play Xavier.
Yeah. So getting pretty much we were just there getting our feet set, like getting our connections kind of ready. This was before Ray Parks changed the rule. So I don't know if you remember this, but Ray Parks, because our residency was 2 years.
Yeah, 2 years.
Norbert, this man did like 3 for somehow. And then the rule changed, and by the time we got there, it was 2. And then Ray came, and then NU like to do their thing, and it was just 1.
Yeah.
And then after Ray, I think there was just more and more people coming in. They were just like, all right, as long as you can prove you're Filipino American or half Filipino, there's almost no residency now.
Yeah.
Somehow. So by the time like guys like Chris Newsom and those guys came in, it wasn't as long.
No. So you had 2.
I had 2. So that was also something that for a lot of the guys that were being recruited that we had to think about. So yeah, so I get into we get into it. So Adrian and Jamil and John, they go to UST. I get recruited by UST, LaSalle, UP, but not Ateneo. Ateneo was actually the only team that really handled us. It was I think Coach Mike he's kind of a little shorter, right?
Yeah.
Coach Mike.
Yeah, Eaglets.
I remember, he was so intense, dude. Bro, they were up like, and I'm not even embarrassed to say this anymore, but like they were up, I'm gonna say like a solid 20 to 30 at half, and they were still like full court pressing, and Coach Mike was in everybody's freaking face. Like, don't let these guys get anything on you.
2008, Kiefer was already there.
And he was probably killing us. Yeah, dude, it was a nightmare. Like playing at Ateneo, the junior team, they were no joke.
Yeah,
they were probably the one team where we were just like, nah, this is like they really hoop out.
You didn't
here.
play LaSalle Green Hills during that year, bro?
We played Green Hills. Okay, so I have a story about Green Hills.
I was there. I don't remember this.
Were you there? I'm not sure. But did you play with Arnold Van Opsel?
No, that's Zobel, bro. You played
Zubel.
LaSalle Zobel.
Okay, we played Zubel. So we there was actually the one video I have. I forget. I don't know if I still even have it. My godfather that passed away a few years ago, he had it and he sent it over. It was a young Arnold Van Opsel, really skinny dude. He went up for a dunk, and I don't think he was really able to dunk yet, but like I met him in the air and I blocked him, and me and him were just, we were talking so much. And ironically, like we were at LaSalle together for when I eventually went. But yeah, so I got all my offers that I had. I went from like no offers in Canada to like 13 to 15 in the Philippines. And I also practiced with the junior national team that was
Mhm.
coached by Coach Eric.
Yeah.
Kiefer was there. I remember Kevin
Jaron.
Frere, Mike Talomia, Jaron, Ray Parks.
Ray Park.
Yo,
Pogoy.
ironically, yeah, all of those guys were there. But this was also the year they changed the age group. So I was on the older batch of that age group. Yeah, the age changed. So they were like, yeah, unfortunately, Jared, sorry. Like, we'd love to have you be part of the training pool and do this, do that. But the age group changed. So even if we want you, we can't have you type of thing. So I was like, yeah, no worries. Like it was a great experience.
So you went to LaSalle. You decided to go to LaSalle.
So fast forward, come grade 12, LaSalle is still in talks with my dad. They offered me to go and meet them again at Attack Athletics in Chicago.
Yeah, Attack Athletics.
Tim Grover's place where he
2000.
trained
This is
and
in
Kobe.
2000.
2009, 2010.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's pretty much like a reevaluation type of thing. But yeah, so LaSalle still liked what they saw, and they kept in touch, and the offer was on the table. So literally the day after my high school graduation, so I walked the stage, and the next day I got a plane ticket to the Philippines, and I had the option to either do summer here and enjoy it with my friends one more time, or go over there and start basketball. And I just said, like, this is what I've been wanting to do forever, and I'm excited to do it.
Yeah.
It was I think Coach Dindo.
Coach Dindo. So when you got to LaSalle, bro, what was that? That was your first time to actually live in the Philippines and actually play in the Philippines. What was it like, bro? When you got there, that was probably 2010. That was Tata. That was Hiram Bagaching,
Oh man,
Malabis, James
bro, I
Manahas.
got stories. That first year, man, like they really broke me in. So I get to LaSalle, and they're giving me options like, hey, you can train like just for Team B, because that's what I was gonna be on for a while. Yeah. Or you got Team A, Team B. For your first week, get adjusted. And I was like, no, I want to do everything, bro. Probably like the best and worst decision of my life, because I did everything. Like we had aqua training, we had weights, we had A practice, we had B practice, and during B practice, like they make you fully scout who they're playing against. So you have to know the whole entire other team's offense, defense, and so some of their sets were disgusting. Yeah, like it was so heavy, man. But yeah, so I got fully integrated into the system. Yeah.
So you get to LaSalle, your first taste of Filipino basketball. How was that like, bro? I mean, for sure, you already know the physicality, the pace. It's different. But I think more or less you got a glimpse of that when you practiced for RP, and also when you played in the Filipino leagues. So more or less you kind of knew already what to expect.
So I'm not gonna lie, when I got to LaSalle though, it's different, man. Like the high school ball is still always gonna be different from university ball. Like you said, the physicality is different, and it's the age gap too. Like you're going from high school where you're what, like,
bro, you sucked, bro.
16? I did. Yo, like I first came to the Philippines, and I was in the shower just now. All right, I came out of the shower. I was like, I know he's about to ask me how it was my first time back. And like I can't lie,
bro.
Dude, like I felt like I was learning how to play basketball again, because it felt like, for me, between the seniors always breathing down my neck, coaches being coaches, and like me also, like I was really hard on myself too, right? So I was like, yo, why do I suck? Why am I not getting this stuff? Like this is
I'm
very
just letting y'all know he sucked, guys.
Bro, I was bad, but not because I was like actually bad at basketball. I just didn't know how to.
Yeah,
I didn't know how to play. I just know how to play in the Philippines. I did not know how to play in the Philippines when I first got to the Philippines. I will tell you all that right now.
How many years did you spend in LaSalle?
1.5.
1.5. What was the decision?
1.5, because then my other half was like the Philippines, like to go to UP.
So what was that decision? Where did that decision come from to transfer? Because you didn't get playing time, you didn't get anything.
All right, so here we go. So getting into the juice. So so we were at the dorms, and the very first dorm, it was still on campus. I was with Norbert and LA Revilla. Those guys were my roommates. Coolest guys to probably pair me up with. I was loving it. I was happy. Great. When you get to the new dorms, fancy condo for the players. I think they're still probably in there, like Archer's Palace or something like that. And I get paired with two roommates that I was not vibing with. And I'm not gonna blame them. It's still me. But the thing that screwed me over was that I get pulled in probably, I want to say maybe a month or two into these new dorms. Things again weren't going the best for me. So you know how it goes. People will just find a reason not to have you, or people will find a reason to keep you. In my situation, people found a reason to let me go, in my opinion. So I get up there, and again, these dorms are new, no cameras set up. And I know this because no one else is getting in trouble for anything. And I know what's going on in the dorms. But I get called into the main office. The team B coach at the time, he's like, JR, I'm sorry to say this. And I already knew, like, my heart dropped. I didn't know what was going on. But he was just like, I'm sorry to say this. And I was like, what's up? Like, what happened? Like, we found out that you were bringing girls in the dorm. And I know, like, you probably think like that's not even like that's probably true. For me, I'm gonna tell you right now, like that was not it. Like I did not do it at
So you didn't. So they accuse you of bringing girls to the dorm, which sounds petty, but during college, when you're in an athlete's dorm, you really can't do that. I mean, I think in all
no, you can't do that.
You can't do that.
And you shouldn't be able to do that. And I respected that.
Okay, so that was the reason why they kicked you out the team.
That was the reason they told me. And my reason
was your roommate a superstar or what? Straight up.
No, I'm gonna tell you right now, no. And that's why he was my roommate. Like, think about that, right? I was a team B boy. There was another guy that was still also, he was older though. I'll give him that. He was older. He was more of a senior, and he was like hovering team A, team B type of thing. Okay. But you know, I have no ill feelings. It was just, that's just how my situation went, and I decided to make the most out of it after.
So I
get kicked out. I get cut. I'm like in the office, like honestly, this is like kind of bringing back feelings right now, but I'm low key hyperventilating. Like, what am I gonna do? What am I telling my parents? And they tell me, I vividly remember this is a Wednesday, and he goes, by Friday you need to have all your stuff out of the dorm. 2 days? You're gonna give me 2 days to get all my stuff out of the dorm? And they were like, you can still study here, but you're not gonna be on scholarship and you can't practice. What? And they were like, if you want to try out, you can still try out. Like, you do know my parents are like across the world, right? And I don't have money like that.
Yeah.
So I get picked in. I get taken in by Arnold Van Op. So God bless his soul. Love him and his mom forever for what they did for me. But I ended up living with him for, I want to say, like a month or two while I'm figuring out my situation.
What was the decision like? Where did it come from? What schools were you looking at? Who were you talking to? Because for sure, like,
dude,
Phil Foreigners, there's a close knit group, so you know who's in the other schools. You know Jamil's in UST.
Yeah.
You know, I don't even know if we had a fellow Canadian before you arrived.
No. I mean, was I first? That's pretty sick.
I don't know. That's why. Why UP? How the hell did you end up with UP?
Okay. So I had so it was back to the decision. I talked to my parents and I was like, give me a couple of months, let me figure this out. I know my mom was freaking out, but like, good thing about being in the Philippines is I don't get to see my parents a lot. So I didn't get to see them. I got to handle that situation the way I felt like I wanted to, I had to. And it was really a big man up situation for me. So I was training at the condo. Arnold's condo had a basketball court and a weight room he let me have access to. And I had three options that were like I really wanted to kind of consider. First was NU, because after I stayed at Arnold, I think Coach Eric, again going back full circle, Coach Eric, I think he heard about my situation. He did hear about my situation. Him and Tita Marissa heard about my situation, reached out to my parents and said, hey, let him live with us and we can help get him sorted out. Okay. So they had me at the house, and they wanted me at NU. But they also knew my educational focus. So again, with Coach Eric's UP background, he was also like, you know, we want you here, but if you want to go UP, I can.
So Coach Eric was the one. So he connected you to UP. Coach Eric.
I believe so. Yeah, he definitely helped set up the strings for that one. But I also had a tryout at Ateneo that actually went pretty well. Coach Norman Black was the coach at the time. I thought it went well, but like looking back on it, I was just one of those. I feel like I was just one of those tryouts where it was like those courtesy tryouts.
No one was really watching.
No, and at the same time, bro, like Ateneo, that was like their run. Like that was
2010.
They were going crazy. That was like the Kirk Long era, like just crazy.
And
Ateneo was.
So it was an
school, but
obvious
still didn't want me. So
educational choice.
UP was next up, and I felt fortunate that Coach Ricky he wanted me at the time. Yeah, Coach Ricky
Team B.
yeah, Team B. He had me with he
Me.
actually made me do this a couple of times.
Had you?
But he had he had like Mike Salungan talk to me and Robbie talk to me because they just get me a little bit more situated with the recruitment process and
Yeah, but
whatnot. And also I did like it still.
you
Like, I
were
loved UP from the
you
start.
had to go through your residency for a year, and I was injured at the time, so we were teammates in Team B. We were with Alvin Padilla, who was ineligible
Yep.
that year. Mark Lopez, who just came off an ACL tear. So we had a squad.
Bro, your memory's
Team
so
B.
good. Your
We
memory's
had a
so
squad.
good,
We
man.
had a squad, Team B.
Yeah.
Then funny because guys, he really sucked. I'm not even playing, bro. Like he came in and then so obviously JR. JR's tall. JR's he looks athletic. He looks athletic. All right. So when he first came in, for sure we were like, oh, this guy came from LaSalle. So I was like, oh, okay, he looks like he can ball. He couldn't. No, no, no. He
Nah.
could ball, but he wasn't. He just wasn't smart enough for plays. Let's just keep
Nah.
it that way. But I was like, okay, maybe that's why he couldn't run with LaSalle because I know LaSalle was Coach Dindo and everything. So we were playing Team
Mhm.
B, and you weren't even like I don't think you. Oh no, you were a starter. I think
For
it was
Team B?
me. Yeah, I think it was me, Mark,
Mhm.
Alvin, you, and then we needed a big. We just played with the big. Yeah, I think you started, but you
Yeah.
weren't, guys, because you saw the UAAP JR. I
Mhm.
saw the first time he came in JR, so he was pretty like lost. He was lost.
I was rough. I was also remember like my situation with LaSalle did not that mentally just ruin
Yeah.
me for a while. So I was really gone mentally, and I still didn't I never got it when I was at LaSalle. So for that first year and a bit, I never picked it up. Like I never learned
Yeah, yeah.
myself as a basketball player in the
It was
Philippines.
really in UP.
So then UP, like, God bless Coach Ricky and all them for making that decision.
Guys.
All right, for taking a chance on me. But yeah, no, whatever Mikey's
Guys.
saying,
All right.
he doesn't lie out here.
Team B played Team B 2011, 2012. So Mark Lopez was already back on his way back to the team. Me, Mark, and Alvin. Am I right? Yeah, me, Mark, and Alvin were already on our way back to the team because we basically
Pretty
had our
sick.
spots for sure. Because we just had to
Yeah.
sit out. So JR was basically you were trying out for Team A.
Yeah, I was
He
bubble.
gets
And
cut, guys. I'm telling you, like no, because we were stacked. We were stacked. That was Mike Silungan. That was Jet Manuel.
yeah, that was his rookie of the
Uh,
year season, right?
Kyle Slau, I think. Not
No,
yet.
Kyles wasn't there yet.
Not yet.
Not
Not
yet.
yet.
Kyles wasn't
But
there
he
yet.
gets cut. Okay, so he gets cut. But Jer was the hardest working in the team. So he gets to practice 2 minutes, 2 hours earlier. He stays for another hour. So he gets cut, right? And guys, I always say this on the channel. During our time, when you did extra work, people would be like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, no, man. The challenge during our era was who played the best with the least amount of work put in. That was the challenge, man. We were all about the hooping shit. So no extra work, but you would kill during games. He was the only one doing extra work. So we were like, yo, you suck. Stop doing extra work. But he was really on that level of hard work. So he gets cut. So this was after practice. I remember this. So I think you were shooting around. Then Coach Ricky calls you to the table. You know the table in the middle.
Damn, this guy remembers. No, it was
And we
actually it was the bench. It was those benches at the
Yeah, it
top.
was
I
the
remember
benches,
we
yeah.
were like top row, and he
And then
tapped me on my leg.
and then I think I
Yeah.
was having dinner, and then he cuts you. This guy was like teary-eyed, and I could imagine because he was
Oh,
really
yeah.
trying, like to get better, get all the plays. But we were just stacked.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then so he gets cut, and then I think he gave you a
Hmm.
choice between going back to Team B or continue practicing for Team A, but you were cut. Like you were just gonna be an extra body.
He cut me, and then I was teary eyed, and I went blank. Like I didn't hear anything after he said he cut me, and I was like, can I just have like can I have a bit? Can I just go back to my condo? So I went back, and yeah, it was it's like what you said. He might have said that, but again, I didn't hear it. But I knew the team B schedule, I knew the team A schedule, so I would do both as much as I could, and I would always. I pissed him off a lot though, because I would always talk to him after practice to be like, "Hey, Coach Ricky, like, what can I do better today?" Like Andrew got that from me. Like I was like a lot of those things.
Yeah, you and Andrew Harris were big suck ups, but yeah. So this guy, okay. So practice was done. He gets cut. The very next day, he's still there 2 hours before practice. So we were like, we were in the team. We were team A, and then here's JR who just got cut the day before or the night before, and he was still there 2 hours before practice. I don't think you were allowed to practice, brother, because I remember you were shooting around, and then when we came onto the court, you had to leave, and then I think you switched to the other court, something like that. But he was just working so hard, trying to understand everything that Coach Ricky had I think someone was ineligible.
It was I hate to say this because Mark's my boy, but he
was
cut
Mark Rueda.
Because Mark wasn't working hard enough, and he wasn't getting what he wanted out of Mark. And again, that hurts me to say because that's my guy, and I love Mark, and he's our team kuya and everything.
And
but
I think you tagged along in our team building.
Yeah, and that's I was like, okay, so I remember that moment. Like he had the meeting because I was finally able to practice again with team A, team B, and all that. And he's like, all right, if your name's called, pack your bags, get ready for team building this weekend. He calls my name. And then I asked him, like, after everyone left, I was like, yo, Coach Ricky, like, why am I coming? Like, what does that mean? He was like, just pack your bags, you'll find out. And I think you remember what happened.
I remember that. We were in a meeting. We were 15. We were 16 guys. We went to team building, 16 guys. But he always felt like he was left out not because we were distant from him, but it was just because 15 of us knew that we were in the lineup. 15 of us knew that we were in the lineup. And Jer was always like, am I in or am I not? Because why am I here? I'm practicing team A. I'm in your team building. I'm doing all the activities, all that hoopla, what's that? The trust fall shit things.
Yeah.
And then he was like, why am I here? Yeah. And finally we had a meeting. Coach Ricky announces that he's part of the team. This guy just broke down. This guy just went on we were on a table. It was a long table, guys. We were just there.
Yeah, it was a long table.
We were all chilling. And then Coach Ricky finally says, like, okay, so we were thinking, guys, like, y'all need to learn from JR. And then we were like, he's not even in the team. And then Coach Ricky was like, so we decided to give that last spot to JR, blah, blah, blah. And then this guy just fell on the table, and then he was just breaking down. And then we were all like, oh, JR. Because at that point, he was just really that guy who just worked hard. That was it. We didn't expect him to produce, but he just had that. Every time he came in the game, it was just all energy, defense, blah, blah, blah. So that was the second time you got cut, but because you were working hard.
Yeah.
Basically.
So
you got in.
It was definitely a roller coaster, man. Like I looking back on it, like there was definitely so many times where I could have been like, yo, screw this country. This country is doing nothing for me, man. Like, fuck that. Like, I'm going back to Canada where I can be with my mom and just be a student. but at the same time, dude, this was the year I had Rainin, bro. Like there was no more like if, ands, or buts. Like I already started school. I'm 2 years into school. Like
you had Rainin.
Or he was on the way. It was my second year, bro.
I mean, his mom was pregnant when we were in Team B.
When we were Team B.
Rainin was oh my God, 19. So you had Rainin. You didn't know if you were part of the team.
When I was 20.
So the first UAP season that you played in, Rainin was there.
Rainin was he was first UAP. He was already born. He was around. He just wasn't.
So your first UAP season, you already had a son.
Already had a kid, man.
Okay.
I was a young dad, bro.
So that's why it was like the frustration. I mean, I'm not saying frustration, but like everything you were thinking about was like boom, boom.
It was, dude, and like I think you and whoever like knows me on this chat like knows how much like my kid is to me. Like,
oh,
bro,
for sure.
Man,
for sure.
and And there was no way I wasn't gonna make it. There was no way in my head that I wasn't gonna make the team. There's no way I was not gonna get my diploma. I wasn't gonna go home with 0. I wasn't about to take 2 years out here, and the only thing I had to show for it was a freaking teen pregnancy. Like there was no way. So
So you,
there was.
so
It
in
was
your head, you
bad.
just
It
wanted to
was
finish
tough.
school.
I had to no, like I really I knew what I could do basketball wise. I always
Yeah.
did. It's just it wasn't clicking, and that's what was probably the most frustrating thing for me was
Yeah.
like, yo, you know how to hoop, you know how to play,
Bro, I
like,
think it was just really,
bro. All this stuff is like
you had the skills, bro, but you
it was
just
culture shock.
really couldn't, like the gulang and the ins and outs of, like, it was that you could always hoop.
Yeah, it was bad, and like, and I think it got to a point too where it was even hard to remind myself, like it was like instead of reminding myself that I knew how to hoop, it was reminding myself like, yo, you can do it. I think
Yeah.
like it was a lot of doubt, man, and it didn't help too because you guys like the seniors, like you know how much you clowned on me, like you guys all know how bad that got.
Yeah,
for
I'm gonna admit,
So-
I was one of those guys who was like, "Come on, Jr., what the are you doing?"
And bro, the thing is though, I also needed that because I respond to that properly. I respond
Yeah.
to that well. It might not be today, it might not be tomorrow, but like just you hang
Eventually.
in there with me. I'm gonna get you. It might be 2 years, but I got it. I got your back.
So you squeezed into your first UAAP lineup, but you were the last man on the bench, if I'm not mistaken. Because I injured my shoulder again. I didn't
Yeah.
play 2012, so you were in the lineup, and then you were on the bench.
Mhm.
Basically, how many times did you play that year? Maybe like-
Oh man, maybe
Twice?
6 times for a
Oh, 6
total of
times.
like no, maybe it was at like end of the game type of thing.
Seconds,
like,
minutes.
Seconds, maybe 2 minutes if that.
2 minutes, yeah.
For like maybe a total of like 8 minutes in the whole
But more or less,
season.
game was decided. Game was decided.
The game was decided. There was
Yeah.
bro, like
No effect.
there was
So that was
yeah.
so that was his rookie season. Okay. And that summer when Coach Ray took over, Coach Ray Madrid, you started to really work on your outside shot. I remember because I would laugh at you like, what the fuck are you like? What are you doing? Why are you shooting threes? Just go set a ball screen, then get out of my way.
Yeah.
But he would be shooting threes in practice. I'm like, what this guy is doing? Okay, so I'm gonna be honest here. JR clicked because Coach Ray let us play.
Yeah. Yeah.
Coach Ray
Yeah.
basically told me, JR, Dave Moralde, Kyle Slav, Mark Ruena to just play.
There's no such thing as a bad shot. Dude, this guy was telling me things that he should not be telling. No coach should tell a player. I'll tell you that right now. Like, that's how much confidence this man put in me. And again, you all, like, if you've been listening to the whole interview, I've had my string of coaches that didn't really mess with me. So now I have a coach that's like, Jared, there's no
Oh.
such thing as a bad shot.
Coach
what?
Coach Ray was like, just ball. I know that all of you, 90% of you would take that the wrong way and be like, no, he didn't have a system. But as players, as hoopers, man, we were like, oh my gosh, like just ball. I remember we would have scrimmages
yeah.
wherein it was small guys versus big guys. I'm not even
It was-
playing, guys.
dude.
5 guards. Me,
Yep.
Asilum, Lau, Moralde would play big. I think Mo Gingrich was with us.
Yeah, Coach
Then we
Mo.
would go up against 5 big men. So Mark Ruena would play the point, and then you would play the 2, and then I think Harris would play the 3, something like that. And we were like, why are we
So you had-
doing this? Like,
Yeah.
Mark Ruena was my matchup. Mark Ruena had to play point guard. It was those unorthodox, those unusual drills, but it was
Yeah.
fun, bro. It was fun.
It was a crazy year. And I mean, really, like that first year when I didn't or when I did finally make it, that was the first year that we were able to that MOA opened up.
Oh,
We were the first game in MOA. I don't know if you guys all knew
Yeah.
that, but us playing against UE or NU, because everyone wanted us as first game because they wanted
Yeah.
the win,
oh, for
whatever.
sure.
But we were the first game in MOA Arena against NU, and that was a big breaking year for me because I got to see what the lights were like.
Yeah.
And then the second year came around, and it was like, okay, so I know what I'm in for now. But Coach Ray's the one now; he's given the
Coach
green
Ray.
light out, and
He had the greenest green light. I'm gonna be
Yeah.
honest with you, bro. You had the greenest green light.
it was like Timo Cruz and Coach Carter like pull up 3 from instead
You
of
had
doing a
the green
layup type of green light. Like it was. Yeah,
if y'all think I had the greenest green light, no, he had the greenest green light.
I
Coach
I
Ray would
did.
still get
I
on me
did.
if I did some stupid. JR never.
I can't remember if he ever did on me. Like maybe
Never,
defense.
bro.
Cause I
Defense.
hated that. Like I look back on some tape from time to
Defense.
time, and I did a lot of the reach around bullshit. But
So this guy would like,
anyway,
but you would ball out,
Yeah.
bro, out of nowhere. Cause again, you always knew how to play, but like straight up,
Yeah.
you just really plays were the problem. Like those, when are you gonna backdoor? When are you gonna pop out? So, but you could really ball. So when Coach Ray
Yeah.
made the offense as simple as possible, Mikey ball
Yeah.
screen, other side isolation, post up for Jelovito, Marco Ruena, or
Yeah.
single double
Single double.
that was it.
So big.
Super
big.
simple, quick hitters.
Yeah.
That's when
Yeah.
he went off. That's when he could shoot with 15 seconds on the shot clock. He would shoot a three.
Gallarza wants to put UP on the board, and he does. Ball game. Gallarza gets it to go from beyond the arc. Oh, wow. He has not missed from the floor. So it's Gallarza with another three, but Alulino
By FE against Lasal.
Let's get our first report in from UP. Let's check it with
Takes over today and the next game against Adamson, but he actually has a much longer history as compared to Coach Nash himself.
Chris. Passes out. Gallarza open three. Yes!
And it was fun. It was fun because
was.
I remember you and I would look at each other and be like, yo, it's my turn. Yo, it's my turn.
Oh man, no, and
It
it
was
was what was fun too was honestly playing with Mark was really fun because he
Marco
knew
Ruena.
he was a really good passer for his size and for
Marco
his position.
Ruena was,
So he had a lot of bigs playing on him because we were small, obviously.
yeah.
So he had a lot of the bigs on him, so he could get a lot of his passes off. And he knew he didn't want to shoot. So it was like, bro, like I'm gonna get my shots, and I know Mikey's gonna get his because Mark is just looking for us, anyways. And then Kyle likes to get in on all the.
Kyle Slow too. Kyle Slow would be like, yo, I just shot 5 times this game. Come on, give me the ball. Yo, Marco Ruena was underrated,
It was
man.
good, yeah.
Marco
He
Ruena,
was. I love.
bro, I'm telling you, man.
Great teammate, bro. Especially off the court. Great guy.
I was the point guard, but every time I needed to score, I wouldn't even give the ball to Diego Dari. I would give the ball to Mark. Like, Mark, get the ball, set us up. Guys, Marco
Yeah.
Ruena was under. He just didn't have a shot, so that's why it was easy for guys to guard him, to stop him. But he would have like near triple doubles, bro.
Mhm.
He had like
Just from
8,
his passing, dude.
6, and 7, something like that.
Yeah, like on the end of like a lot of our highlights, it's to start it off. It's a handoff from Mark, or it's a kick out from Mark, man.
Mark.
Yeah,
It was fun.
great basketball IQ on that, man. But yeah, man, that was a year. That was a fun year, and I think too, like our summer leagues were really fun. I think like we both know this, but we played so much better in the summer. We played so much better in Taiwan than the actual UAAP,
For
and
sure.
it was like night and day almost. It was just so different.
It was so different.
But
But JR, what made you different? What I think the lesson here, because in all episodes there's always a lesson in that story. I think the lesson here, I believe, was how you managed your time. Because guys, again, he was the
Oh, it was
hardest
crazy.
working dude in the team. He would be there 2 hours before, go home an hour after. He was so serious with his recovery. He was serious with his strengthening, his blah blah blah. I was out there just meeting girls, meeting. When I would go to different places in UP, try to meet people. He would be in the gym. I would go to the gym just to meet people, and he would be working out crazy 2 hours in the gym. He was doing all that for basketball. He was one of the brightest students in his course. I think you finished. Did you finish magna?
Magna
Cum laude. So what was your GWA average?
4.0 is perfect there, or 1.0? 1.0 is perfect.
1.
Right?
No, yeah, 1.0. 1 was the
1.0
highest.
is perfect there. I think mine was a 1.34, 1.33, or something like that.
1.34 GWA. He had a son.
Something like that. Something that was
And-
Magna, whatever. Magna
bro,
is, but
People don't know this, but you had a social life. You were a party
I
animal,
did.
bro. So you had
it
you were
was,
the hardest working in the hardest worker in the team, hardest worker. You weren't the I think you weren't the brightest. You were the hardest working student.
Yeah, I'll take that. I'll
Yeah,
take that.
you were the hardest working student. You had a son, and then
Mhm,
you had your share of fun in college.
mhm,
How the hell
yeah.
did you manage all that? Like something's gotta give. Something's gotta give, man.
So for me, there was no give, and I pride for like the psychotic side of me. There was no give. I didn't want to give. I wanted to go out. I wanted to do my thing on the weekends and proudly say I'm gonna go do my like let's say we have Sunday off. Saturday night, boys, let's go. Let's do something. This dude. It was bad. Like the palace. It was a palace, right?
Bro, you
Are
were
they
a
still doing the thing?
party animal, bro.
Dude, they gave me a card. Like I had a membership card to the palace because they saw how often I was there. Like it was like one of those like you're free in, just show it, flash it, you're straight in. Don't worry about the lines, just come because we see you all the time here. And I was doing this stuff with my friends that were in the UVA, such as James Forrester and all those guys, and Norbert as well. Drinks and whatever, and they were out there. We would always talk. What do you guys have going on tomorrow? And I'd be like, yeah, I got weights in the morning. And again, this is like 2 a.m. already, like 1 a.m., 3 a.m. sometimes. And they'd be like, what are you talking about? So you have a day off. I'm like, yeah, but like this is my routine. Like I'm gonna go hard here with you guys. I'm gonna go work out in the morning. Like so 7 a.m., 8 a.m. I'm in Golds in the sauna, then weights and sauna again and shower.
What time
and
would you
I'm
go home?
home and honestly, no, I never stayed past like 3 or 4 because
3 or 4.
I still kept like
Yeah.
my sleep.
But
At the same time, I wanted to be awake for when
yeah.
before Rainin was going to bed, right? So
But
I did have
you
my social
still
life,
went
right?
out. So Raynan was
Yeah,
living with you.
I did my no. He
No.
was living with my parents.
With
So
your parents.
that obviously like that was another thing too that kind of made it. I had like that freedom. Like he was with my parents for a good chunk of that time. Like me and Rainin were around for like we were together for maybe only like 2 or 3 months of the year because of like he would be in Canada. He would be here in Canada.
So you had
But yeah, dude, like there was no give. Like I couldn't. Okay, so here's the thing. Like I had a kid early. So my parents were like, "What the hell are you doing over there? Like, why are you're there for school and basketball? Why are you having a kid so early?" So I had to show them my grades. Like every time I got school stuff, and at the same time I was already on course to be magna, so I was like, screw it, let's see how far we can take this. Let's graduate magna then. At the same time, I got a lot of endorsement deals because of that stuff, man. Like like you said earlier, like that was my image. So I lived off that. Like I was like, look, all right, cool. Like you want the like what was it called? That one that flawless skincare routine. Like they just built my brand off of the student athlete life. I loved obviously like we're all vain when we work out, really. Like you got Mark telling you, what do you guys do? T-shirt workout, with Kaka. He started that when we were Team B. So we got pretty vain with like the results in the weight room. So between the aesthetic portion of working out and of course the physical portion of working out, I love that. I love the grind. And then of course basketball was number one. It had you probably said this the most. Like you said this a lot to me and a lot of people. Like you guys can work out as much as you want in the weight room, but if you can't fucking play, like put more workout on the court. Like you guys, it's still how you play. And I think part of it too was like you were still covering your butt too, because you would work out for sure. Like you still worked out, but you played definitely a lot harder than you trained. Like you were one of those players, not like a practice player like some of us were. So
yeah, man.
So I remember those talks, man, that you always had with us, and so I was like, yo, I'm just gonna do it all. And yeah, those guys in the PBA too, they would look at me like, yo, why are you working so hard? Why are you even doing all this? Like we're already making money doing what we all came out here to do.
And you're
like,
not making nothing.
I'm not making nothing. You know how UP salary was.
That wasn't even called a salary, bro. That was more like, here you go. Just a little something.
For snacks every other day.
So what was your schedule like for the most part? Because our practices were at 5 p.m., 4 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
So in the morning.
So
and guys, by the way, guys, he lived alone. He didn't live in the dorm. He cooked. He did his laundry. Bro, you did everything. You cleaned.
Yeah.
And he had a clean condo. I gotta admit, he had a clean.
I did. Appreciate that, man.
So he was really like just doing everything. I didn't know how.
Yeah, man.
You didn't have a car, so he would cross the bridge to get on a Jeep to go to. bro. Like I'm telling you, time
Oh
management
man.
was I think the biggest pickup from this
Oh my gosh,
episode, bro. What was your
dude.
schedule like? What
It's
was your
stressing me
first
out
class
thinking about it, dude.
like? What time was your first class?
Man, like, okay,
8:30?
getting the gold membership was huge because it put the gym right next to. It was pretty much our neighbors, right? Just walk there.
Yeah, it was
So I would wake up. I would actually, because some days I didn't have time to lift before practice, and I like Gold's gym more than our gym. So I would wake up at like 6 a.m. be at Gold's by 6:30, and then I would be in class by
8:30.
yeah, like is it 8:30 the first class or
8:30
9?
is the first class.
Something like that. So 8:30, and then I was you know how I don't think everybody here knows how stressful like UP enrollment is, but UP enrollment is that's a bitch and a half.
Enlistment.
So, dude, enlistment. I'm not gonna lie, and I'm sorry to everybody I cut in line. I'm looking right at the camera. If I ever cut you in line during enlistment, I'm sorry, but I had to do what I had to do. All right. So I would play the foreign card. I would be like, hey guys, is this the line for enlistment? I'm just gonna I have a question real quick. I gotta ask the front office, and then the line was out the corner, bro.
Yeah.
And I would be like, hey guys, can I just like what's going? Can I just ask a question? And I'm just here to enlist for this. And then the people would be there looking at me like, you're already in here. Just come in. We'll sign you in. Like, all right, cool.
Yeah, he was an asshole too.
But yeah, I was. I'm not gonna lie. I was low key. I just knew how to use what I had. Okay,
and we weren't even winning.
No, exactly. But here's the thing, though. The reason why I had to do that was because, like you said, time management. So if I didn't get the schedule I wanted and needed, there's no other way I was able to do this stuff.
Yeah.
So I had to have all 3 classes back to back to back, and that's the only
you
way I
didn't
was
like
able
breaks.
to do this.
You didn't want breaks.
No, because the thing is, if you think about breaks, bro,
that's
like
an hour and a half.
You would take your break, yeah, or more, because you're taking that break to go eat, and then you gotta go back to class or say bye to whoever you're seeing. So I just went 3 classes straight, sat in front of the classes. I didn't like having friends in the classes. I never wanted to have teammates in my classes because they all knew I did the work and I cared about grades because I didn't want people to abuse that. So I just went to the classes I had to do. I sat in the front of the classes. 3 straight classes. As soon as I was done those, do any homework I had to before training, so I could stay back after training. Anything I was able to finish beforehand, I'd finish beforehand, and then I'd go to UP to shoot around. So I was like done school by like 2 or 3, and that's how you see me 2 hours before practice.
Yeah, you didn't have a break the whole day.
No breaks all day except for when.
What was the break?
So like I would say like so 6 a.m. all the way straight to end of practice. Was like my day, right?
You wake up, gym, school, 3 straight classes, shoot around, practice, and then schoolwork.
And then schoolwork and well, after practice, sometimes we would shoot around too, right? We
you would shoot around. No, I'm just saying, like
whatever.
You didn't have
then,
any.
It wasn't as long, but yeah.
breaks.
So let's say what time do we end practice? Around 7 or 8
7,
p.m.
7:30, yeah.
Around there. So I wanted that time free because that was raining time. Like every night, I would call when he would wake up because he's young boy, so he's waking up at like 6, 7, 8 a.m.
I forgot about raining too.
Yeah. So I had to go home. That was home time, and I didn't want to have to do homework and talk to him at the same time. Like I had to be. It's bad enough that I'm raising my kid through a computer screen, like So I wanted to make sure that time was free for him, and then as soon as me and him were done talking, then it's whatever homework I had left over, projects I had left over, go to bed, wake up, do the same thing over and again. But
that was for 3 years, guys. 3
years, except for weekends or whenever we had games.
That
will only be the difference. Sundays, Coach Ricky sometimes even had stuff on Sundays because he would be mad for the week.
But that was basically the college life for Jerry. That's why he was always
my college life.
He was always what you would want to do in terms of balancing your schoolwork. It's always people always say social life, career, or basketball, school. 3 things. You gotta pick 2. That's what they always say. You gotta pick 2.
Yeah.
You gotta at least be single if you want to focus on school and school and basketball. You gotta suck at basketball if you choose the social life and school, or you just flunk your classes if you want to have a girlfriend and basketball. Yeah. Well, you don't need to flunk. I kind of chose that last one, but I didn't flunk. I graduated, but something's gotta give. But JR did all 3 along with his son. I think that's part of the social life anyway. So he played 2013, sat on the bench. 2014, he
Yeah.
was the second best player in the team. 2015,
I get you.
2015, it was again more
That
of a
was rough.
struggle. It was a struggle.
It was bad. It was like everything that we just talked about caught up
Yeah.
to me.
Yeah,
And
it was a struggle.
it was mainly, so that was the year. I don't talk about this often because we haven't discussed it fully with Raynon, but it was the year where me and his birth mom like
Yeah.
officially, you know, parted ways, and she just completely, you know, went out of the picture. So that was, I try not to let that be a distraction or an issue. And I admire so many of these NBA players that can have all these
Yeah,
like
yeah.
baby moms and all this stuff. Because when I went through it, like because it was also hard because I never got to see Raymond through the process. So like he
Yeah.
wasn't around to help me feel better about it.
Yeah.
It was scary. It was really scary because in North America, like if it ever went to like the courts and the government, they favor the mom or the wife in the situation.
Oh, so you were going through a
So
trial.
no. So it
Oh.
luckily, you know, I never went there. Raymond was just with my parents, but still, like I had that at the back of my head, like,
Yeah.
is today gonna be the day where I have a phone call with a lawyer or something. So like that started my final year of university, and that was the
tough.
hardest thing,
I think
bro.
you were
Like
team captain,
I
right?
can, and I was never like, because I didn't, not a lot of people could relate, so I never talked to a lot of people about it.
Who could relate, bro?
Yeah, right, and it was hard. It was very, very difficult. But yeah, like I said, I don't want to make that an excuse because there was also a lot of other things too that were affecting me. So that was my year of practicum. And for me, I was thinking last year of school, this is gonna be easy. This is my
No.
last year. I can take it easy. Bro, practicum, you actually have to go like every single day, like
You
for
gotta
teaching
teach.
practicum.
Oh, he
I
takes
wish I had
eduk.
thesis, bro.
He takes
Eduk,
eduk.
yeah. So
So
teaching in the
he's a
early grades.
teacher. Yeah.
So the thing with thesis, because I had seniors and everyone took thesis, no one had practicum. So I'm like, okay, cool. Everyone has their last year. They can work on their thesis whenever the hell they want. So
you
I'm like,
had
all
break.
right, my last year, I'm gonna do it whenever I want. But I had practicum. I didn't have thesis.
Yeah.
So
So
practicum,
you mixed all that
oh,
again.
bro, they make you live a teacher's life.
Yeah, you teach. I know, cause I know.
Plus you're on top of your other schoolwork, because practicum's not the only class like you have. You still have some like here and there.
So when you were
Bro,
doing your
it was-
practicum, I was like, how the fuck are you managing all that shit with
it was not
basketball,
fun, man.
Reina, and social life?
So practicum hits, and I'm thinking I can choose some days off, like focus on games, focus on practice. But yo, I was really like, I'm gonna tell you, like, this is straight up, you know, and right in line with your podcast name. Like I was sleeping. I was lucky if I got 5 hours of sleep, 4 hours.
5 hours of sleep.
I was lucky. I was lucky if
Oh
I got
my
5.
God.
Lucky if I got 4 or 5.
This
I
was
was
your
living
final year. Oh my
and
gosh.
living and taking naps in the student lounge of like Berkeley
Yeah, I
residences,
can imagine.
because I had to do like all my teaching plans. I had to do all of that stuff, so that I could practice, so that I could still work out. But yeah, and that was also the year like you weren't there anymore,
I wasn't
right?
there
Like it was kind of on and off, and it was bro, that year was so bad. If there was one year, and I don't like regret, but if there was one year I could like go back and kind of just say, like, not really redo, because I don't know how I'd even redo that shit. But like that was the one year where I look back on, I'm like, I wish that year went better for me. Because we had 2 head coaches, Coach Joe and
Coach Renzi.
what was his name? Coach Renzi. And they were 2 head coaches that never got along.
Yeah, no.
So how and I'm team captain. He had his own team captain. He would talk to Jet more.
Coach Allen was there.
So like, and coach, but okay, the thing with Coach Allen was also with high school. So like he was in and out of our team. So, and I love Coach Allen too. But like,
that was a crazy year,
bro. Like it was.
But you won. You won how
was
many
a
games?
crazy
3?
year.
2.
Oh man, we started with 2 wins in a row.
Yeah, and then you had like
we
3.
Got
Finish
one
the
more.
season. Yeah.
And yeah, it was, everyone was like hype. It was
So
crazy.
you
like,
went-
McDonald's had a love coat toe 2-0. It was, yeah, I got
So-
that picture saved too.
So with their whole Philippine basketball career was struggle in LaSalle. You got to UP.
Yeah.
You were struggling. You got cut.
That
You were
first year.
squeezed into the team. You were sitting on the
Yeah.
bench 2013. 2014,
Mhm.
you suddenly become the second best player in the team. And then
Yeah, yeah.
2015 was that whole year of just pure like
It's
stress.
just craziness like that.
Yeah.
Man, that probably added like 10 years on my life, bro. That last year, man.
But hold
Holy
up.
jeez, bro.
So when the season was done, you still had more. You had a name. You still had a name, bro, because you were a six. How tall are you? 6'4", 6'5"?
Yeah, like basketball height, I always list down like 6'4", 6'5".
Okay, 6'4",
6'4" though.
6'5". You had a shot. You were hardworking. Like you had a name. You still had a name coming from that 2014 season. And
Hmm.
how many more sims did you have to go through after the UAP before you graduated? You were
I
done.
was done, and
Oh,
this is the
so it
thing that
was
messed me up. It was practicum, and
sakto.
I'm done. So like I had to, like, I had the chance to like take a bullshit semester so that
Yeah.
I could focus on basketball. Which
So
that's
you
one of the things
wanted
when
to
I tell you
finish
like,
it already.
mm-hmm.
So
Well, it's raining, right?
yeah. So at the end of the season, that was already you already graduated like a few weeks after.
Uh,
Yeah, because the season ends
yeah,
more or less like September, October.
yeah. September. Yeah, because then I was done and I was set to fly back home. No, it was November. Well, no,
November,
season ended October, November,
October.
and then I had about like 2 or 3 weeks to get my stuff organized
That
and get
was
my
it,
paperwork.
bro. Then you were on your way home.
I was done, and then I just came back this summer for my
Yeah.
graduation ceremony.
Wait.
But
So you didn't?
yeah.
Why didn't you consider entering pro, or at least entering the draft?
Oh man, I think I have it somewhere here, but I had a T-chart, and I had pros and cons of going pro, pros and cons of coming
For
back
real,
to
you
take care of
have?
Brandon. Yeah, like that's just me, but it was I wrote it down, and I had more pros for going pro, but on the side of coming back home, there was just that golden answer. It was raining, and he was about to start kindergarten, bro. Like I'm not gonna miss my kid's starting kindergarten. So
I get you.
so for me, it was like I hit the semi-pro level because with the I got to practice
D-League.
and be with Happy for a little bit. We got drafted D-League, even though that didn't really work out super well. It was actually it tore me. So you remember the schedule that we went through with me? I added in D-League for a little bit of that, and both my Achilles were like. I think when I got diagnosed, I didn't want them to tell the coaches. It was actually I don't think I even told you this, but I had like
Yeah.
2 ruptured. No, really like severely strained Achilles is what they told me.
Okay.
And it was getting to a point where like I was about to rupture and just do something really bad to them. And so that's why I had to give up. I had to give up D League because I wasn't gonna give up UC.
Okay. I didn't know
So
that.
so yeah, so that was my health was also there. And then my last year, I didn't have a lot of confidence in terms of basketball wise, but I did know if I wanted to push, I would have made the push because I didn't have school anymore. School
Yeah,
took
yeah.
up like 12 hours of my day. So now I
Yeah.
have 12 hours to focus on strength,
Yeah.
skills, recovery. So yeah, it was my golden answer was just raining. And for me, it was like I had my fun. I had my life with basketball. It's time to now, give my life up to this little man that I brought into this world and
Yeah.
and be a
I
dad.
get you. So it was basically it was Raiden versus PBA, or at least a push. Yeah, that
Yeah.
made everything easier. I'm sure that made
Yeah.
everything easier.
It's no guarantee though, right? Like how hard it is to get to the pros.
Yeah,
You were
for sure.
drafted
There's
there.
no
You know how
guarantee.
it
There's
is,
no
right? So there's no guarantee. Like
And
I never
come on.
and everyone that tells me too like, oh, you could have been pro, you could be pro right now.
No,
Like, okay,
no.
thank you very much for that.
But no.
Well, like there's no guarantee for that. There's I'll say thank you. I'm not gonna say I couldn't have been because I do believe in myself. But
Yeah,
at the
no.
same time, I do understand that
It's not
how
as
life
easy
is
as
and how the
you could have made
PBA is.
it.
I'm not gonna be that guy at these pickup runs saying, "Yeah, I was doing
Yeah.
pro, but like I gave
this
up my life." Nah, bro.
to this
Like,
day, when people be like, "You could have made the pros if you didn't," but no,
nah,
don't
I'm
even,
chilling.
don't
It's
even.
it's
I'm
okay,
good.
man.
I'm
Like
good.
I'm okay. I'm happy. You're
Yeah.
happy. I'm happy. It's all good.
And
And yeah, Rainin was the big one, bro.
I think that made the
He was the
decision
big one.
easy. I think that made the decision.
Oh
And the
yeah,
funniest
man.
thing is, guys, after all that shit he went through in college, what he did when he got back to the state or to Canada, he didn't use his diploma. I think that's the funniest thing that I've been trying to stress to a lot of people. And don't take my word for this, guys.
I'll tell him.
I didn't go to class. No, I did. I graduated. I have
So
my
you
diploma.
finished.
I
Man,
finished.
come on. You got the UP.
Okay.
You got UP degree.
I finished. But to be honest with all of you, I still don't have my diploma to this day. I haven't gotten that piece of paper. I'm telling you, not. I graduated. Formality, but I don't have my diploma. But I'm
I
doing
got that shit
fine
hanging up.
because I wanted to build something, and I think that was one of
Yeah.
your goals as well, was to build something. You had a diploma. You were magna cum laude. You could have gotten
Yep.
into any job you wanted, but you wanted to build something. So where did that
Yep.
come from? That process and that thought process come from?
So, going back on that, bro, like I might get in trouble from my old professors if they see this, but I hated school, bro. Like I really didn't like going to class.
I did.
I'm not gonna lie. And that's coming from a magna cum laude, okay? Like for those of you that are summa, magna cum laude, or even just in school trying to just freaking do it, whatever. Dude, I do not like school. I did not like class, okay? And I hope my son doesn't see this till he's older. But like my first year of university, I compared it to my first year of high school. It's exciting, it's fun, new people, new freedoms. Wonderful. You get through that first year, now it's like, what? I gotta do this for 3-4 more years? What the hell? Can I just play basketball? No, you cannot just play basketball.
Nope.
So what I did like though, I did like the people. I did like, learning. I do like learning. I just like assignments and all that, and tests. Tests was my hardest thing. But that's why
But you
my
were
work
grade
ethic-
conscious, bro.
Yeah, so like that's why like attendance, you get graded for attendance in the Philippines,
No, but
and
you
all
were
you have to
grade
do is put in
conscious,
the work.
bro.
Yeah,
He would get
Yeah.
pissed when he would get a 1.5.
yeah, I did not like that shit.
See?
Yeah, that didn't fly with me.
And
But
now
yeah,
you're like
so-
you're doing something that you haven't used your
here's-
once yet.
This is the reason. This is the reason. So when I got back to Canada, and anyone in the Philippines studying, please do your research when you think you're gonna get a job overseas. I didn't. Learn from me. They did not let me use my diploma here. Not
Oh,
from
they
the jump.
didn't.
So
For
I ended up
real?
asking them. Yeah, bro. So I end up asking. So the OCT, Ontario College of Teachers, they're the ones in charge of saying, okay, you can go teach. Here's your license in Ontario. Excuse me. So I contact them and they're like, okay, we need this, this, and this. You need to take an English literacy test. You need to do this. You need to get all your courses from the Philippines.
Oh, so you tried to be a teacher. You tried to be a
translate.
teacher.
I tried. But it got to a point where I had to pay too much money to do all these tests, to do all these equivalency things, and I had to get my license in the Philippines to be a teacher in the Philippines, which I didn't get fully. And so I was like, okay, realistically speaking, because this is after like maybe a month of talking to the people for my license, how long is this process going to take me? And they're like, honestly, you're looking at like 3 years. And I was like, the reason why I gave up pro and pushing for pro was to take care of my son. You're going to tell me I got to go back to school for 3 years that I have to pay for? I'm not even on scholarship out here.
Yeah.
I have no money. There's no way. So that my back was against the wall. I met my now fiance. She was here. She was already doing her thing. And I was like, I would always finish like I did get a job in the teaching field, like doing like before and after school, like supervision for kids at schools. And I was even like, this isn't even worth it. I know I don't want to be a teacher in a classroom for the rest of my life. Let me go and do something I want to do for the rest of my life. So then that's how I built what I did. I went on to Google actually, and just like you, I took a chance on what I'm doing. And Google told me somewhere down, like, it's serious, you got it bad when you're like on 4th or 5th page of Google, like searching stuff up. So I remember seeing, to start a business, you have to answer 2 questions. What are you good at? How can society benefit from what you're good at? So for me, I still knew how to teach. I was still young enough. I knew how to play ball. Secondly, my society, my city, there was no skill specific or player development specific coaches or trainers. And, I would have loved having that as a kid. So I wanted to take on that role here. And that's how I started the business. And I came at an era where basketball trainers, there was not very many online, locally, nowhere.
So that's where it came from.
I was one of the first here, and I'm happy that I was able to do that, because now I got everything around me it's not off of my fiance's money. It's a split between me and her, or I paid for everything, such as the weight room or the basketball court, and all that stuff. So.
And this is a perfect example of just rolling with the punches, because
you
had your magna. When you have magna cum laude, or even just laude or summa, from regular people like me, in our heads, what we're thinking is, oh, he's made he's cool. He's made for life.
No,
Yeah,
bro.
real magna cum laude. Like you can get into any. That's how I think, or regular people think. I assume like if you have magna cum laude in your transcript or whatever or diploma, it's okay. You're in whatever. So you rolled with the punches. You saw that you couldn't use your magna cum laude out there. Your diploma meant shit out there.
They
They
didn't
didn't know that
care.
UP was UP. They didn't know, or UP
No.
is UP. So you
Yeah.
had to find a way to survive, basically to survive.
To provide for my son. This was
Provide,
all again
yeah.
going back to my kid.
Yeah.
From ever since he was born, everything has been, my life has just been providing for my kid, and it's rewarded me and rewarded him.
So you chose your kid, which obviously you would. You didn't try to play pro. You went back home right after your not even right after the season, right after all of your schoolwork. You went back home to take care of your kid. You didn't know what you were gonna do. At some point, you didn't know what you were gonna do because they told you 3 years to get a job. So you didn't know
Bro.
what you were gonna do. And
I
then
didn't know
you
what
just
what I was
took a
gonna do.
chance.
Had zero money,
Yeah.
and I had a girlfriend that I just met from the Philippines. That
Bro, honestly,
was
bro,
also
like,
happened to be Canadian, bro.
that part of your story I could totally relate to. Like I didn't know what I was gonna do. It was the middle
Yeah,
of
man.
pandemic. I didn't have any money.
Yep.
I didn't know. So I could relate to it. And it's crazy how you
Yeah, man.
started from scratch. And then now it is what it is, man. So now Roll, I
Yeah.
think to everyone watching, it's actually Roll. Roll is his training, what do you call it? Training school?
No, it's a training business that I just call it basketball skills and holistic development. So I take in a lot of actually, like, remember how I would wake up in Taiwan and meditate with the Buddhist monks and stuff?
Yeah, bro. He
Like,
would
I took a-
meditate, bro. He would do all those things, bro.
I took in all those
You'd be like-
experiences too, and I helped with it.
We were in
Hey, man,
Taiwan. We were all
you
having
guys were
fun.
decent, bro.
We were all like, yo, we were playing like Pusoy Dos, late night. He would go to
Yeah.
bed early because early in the morning he would go with the monks and meditate with them. Like, what
Yeah.
the hell is JR
Yeah,
doing?
it was great, man. I loved it. And
But
then
I
I got
think-
certified as a trainer.
Certif-
So
Oh, for real?
like yeah, so I actually like I got that same year I committed to the business. I graduated this business seminar course. I finished this business seminar course, so they gave me, like, when you finish it you get like $5,000. But it's really it's more of like a validation thing. Like,
So you're a certified
yeah.
basketball trainer.
there's no certification for that, but I'm a certified personal trainer and group
Okay.
fitness instructor. So I got certified under those. Like, I went through a whole program. Like, as like I'm a personal trainer. Like, that's what I am. But basketball skills is what I specify in more. But like the personal trainer license, that enables me to train people like legally, and at the same time I have the knowledge to train people like adults or other athletes that outside of the basketball world.
Roll with the punches. Roll with the punches. So yeah, he's a basketball. He's a personal trainer who makes good money, obviously, and he's a laude for education.
Yep.
I'm a content creator and I have a diploma in PS tourism. I mean, roll with the punches, guys. That's the
Bro,
whole. That's the whole
yeah, man.
lesson of this episode, man. He could have,
like
bro. You could have done a lot of things with your laude status.
yeah.
But nah, yeah.
I think you know this too, especially being an adult and doing what you're doing. Like, you probably know more people that like aren't doing what their diploma is meant for.
Because I don't believe in. I hate that it'll come from me, but I don't believe in it. I don't believe in.
Hey, I'll say it too. I'll tell you all right
I
now in
don't.
the Philippines and
I don't.
whoever else is watching this, like, you are not your paper. You are not your diploma. You are not your upbringing. And if my parents ever watch this, I'm sorry to throw you under the bus.
Exactly.
My parents did not want me to. They didn't want me to do this. They did not believe me running a business. My
Same.
guy, I am the one Filipino young man in an almost all white community, and I'm teaching basketball.
Yeah.
Like,
No, because
Come
that
on,
was
bro.
that was the
So-
traditional way of thinking. Was to get
Go
a
to
job,
school.
get a 9 to 5,
get a job.
get a 9 to
Exactly.
5. Stability was
Exactly.
important. Stability is important.
Your parents?
Yeah.
Your parents support you? Good.
No, now they do, but at the start they're like, "What are you doing? Like,
Okay. Me too. So
how
now
are
they
you gonna
support me
make
now too.
money
They
off
support
of
me.
this? You're
Yeah,
putting out
yeah.
content. What does this mean?" And then slowly, when they kind of saw what was happening, like
Yep.
they didn't know that there was money off of social media. I'm sure they
Mhm.
didn't think that you would be stable with training a bunch of kids. Like
Yep.
it was just a traditional way of thinking.
Yeah,
So
and the thing, like,
yeah,
I just put this out too because again, Mother's Day. When I remember reading something where when you are the firstborn of a family that immigrates, you are literally the check mark or X that prove that their sacrifices succeeded or they failed. So a lot of my life, like my parents were thought like, yo, we immigrated to Canada for this shit, for this kid, for him to do this, for
yeah.
him to have a kid at this age, like, and so like a lot of that has just been, you know, I don't want to say like my parents have never been supportive, but like
No, I think it's
them,
understandable.
you know what I mean? Like they pushed
No,
the bar for me.
it's understandable.
That for me to have to push it for myself to prove that I can make shit work.
You gotta
Like
prove
I had
something
to
first
prove
before they. No, they wouldn't just
exactly, and it was for them, bro.
kids. They won't support you just because you want to do something. No,
Oh yeah, oh
especially
yeah,
when you get to an age wherein you really have to do something already. Maybe when you were
yeah.
younger, maybe like I want to try this, I want to try this. You, but when you get to a certain age, yeah, like you'll go ahead. But when you get to a certain age and then you're still living in your
Yeah.
parents' house, and they be like, "Yo, you gotta do something. You gotta do
Mhm.
something with your life." And when you when you bring up something that is not traditional, that is not being that you don't have an occupation, that's when they're like, "Yo, what are you doing? When is this
Yeah.
gonna bear fruit?"
Exactly. Like you have to be able to live with that,
You
right?
have to live with
If
it.
you're going to do that, you gotta have a plan
You gotta be
ready.
like,
You just because
block
if
out
you
the
fail now,
noise.
your parents are about to be like, told you
I
so. Like,
told you so.
yeah, now you're back living with me. What? How much money you want?
You gotta block out the noise. You can't rush things.
Exactly.
You gotta build it. I'm sure you can relate to this because you built this from starting 2016. It's your fifth year.
2016.
And even though the pandemic hit and your industry got hit, like was one of the industries that got affected the most, basketball,
Oh yeah.
obviously. It's still up, it's still running. So you know how it feels to build something and you just gotta be patient with it.
Yep.
You gotta be patient. It's gonna click at some point. It can be 5 years down the road. It can be 2 years down the road, right? And you just gotta roll with the punches.
Bro,
That's really
honestly, I think you said it best at like one of your very first videos, and this is how I knew. Like I remember watching this, bro. Like probably I watch your
yeah.
stuff during my workouts. I watched it one of my workouts, and I was like this when I heard this when I heard you say this, I was like, this guy gets it. Like he's grown so much maturity wise and life wise. He's ready to actually do this full on. Is when you had that one video where it was like you don't have to make it perfect to push
Oh
out
yeah,
to do it.
to do it.
And I was like, dude, that's exactly how I was. Like,
Yeah.
there's gonna be a time where you think I need to make it perfect. I need to make it look
OC,
clean.
yeah.
You're comparing yourself, your content, you're comparing your whatever to other people, and you're like, oh, it's not as good. How are people gonna invest in me when they're doing
Yeah.
this? But then you gotta go strip back the layers and go like, there's only one of you in the world. There's only one of me, you know. And what you have to offer, and you said it perfectly, dude, is just like, just do it, man. Like
Just do it, man.
do it until it's perfect in your eyes, like down the
Yeah.
road. Like it doesn't have to be perfect right now. Just get it out.
You just gotta get
And
better.
man,
You just
like
gotta get better and better.
bro,
and better.
that's why I loved hearing your stuff, and I still watch all your stuff, man. It's just because, bro, like you understand and you've grown so much with all this, dude.
Yeah,
Like
bro.
I know you got blonde hair and stuff. You're getting bored out there and shit, but like you get it, dude. You understand, and I think that's why everyone's so willing to freaking talk to you too, bro.
Oh my
Like,
gosh, bro. I'm
man,
just that's the perfect, like you just gotta find your niche. Cause
yeah.
there's no industry wherein you're alone. You're gonna have competition in all industries. You're never gonna find an industry wherein it's gonna be easy to make a name for yourself. Especially those who want to build a brand, especially those who want to build a company versus those which don't take this the wrong way, but those who want to join a brand, who want to work for a brand, work for a company,
Mhm.
no disrespect, like it's just a choice that you make. If you want to build something or you want to work for something. So if you want to
Mhm.
build something, man, you just got to find your identity. You got to find your niche. And I think even as a
Yeah.
trainer, you got to differentiate yourself from other trainers. Cuz
Yeah.
yeah, maybe they're better off in this area, but your whole life story only you could impart.
Exactly.
I mean, everything that you
Exactly.
went through, only you could impart to the younger generation. I think you're the only trainer who would say, focus on your studies.
Nah, see, well, that's the thing, bro. Like, as much as I said earlier, like I don't like school in terms of like the work,
Yeah.
but like I like school for what it gave me, like in terms of my work ethic.
Oh, for sure.
Like having to balance all of that stuff, like I wouldn't have been able to balance starting a business and doing it here from scratch if I didn't know how to stay up until 3, 4 a.m. Like you
Yeah.
know how editing your content till 4 or
Yeah.
5 a.m. because you need to have it out for 7, 8 a.m. for the people
Yeah.
waking up, right? It's the same thing with me. Like I had to have my stuff on the go, ready. I have to have my phone on for some of my athletes that want to get training.
Yeah.
It's just like, and the thing is, when you love it, what's that saying? Like if you do something you love, you'll never work a day in your life.
Yeah, you never
Something
work a
like
day.
that. Yeah, bro. Like this isn't work for me. This isn't work for you. Like
But
you're
that
making money
doesn't
right here
mean it's
talking
not
it, you know?
tiring, people. That doesn't mean it's not
Exactly.
tiring. It's fulfilling, but
Exactly.
it's hella tiring, bro.
Exactly. And that's, dude, like it's just I do preach school because of the experiences, and that's why
Yeah.
I will tell my son, you know, do school for as best as you can, as long as you can, because the experiences you're gonna pull, the people you'll meet, like those are things that will never, money cannot replace. Money cannot replace that, the stuff that it builds, the character that it builds in you. So
I think
everyone watching out there,
Yeah.
don't just tell your parents it's magna cum laude that he doesn't like school,
No,
so I
no,
don't
no,
want to
no,
go do
no.
school. Nah, like
No.
do school because it is going to help you develop as a person. And even with Mikey, you know, even though it might have
I
taken
go
him
to
longer,
school,
he jokes around about his diploma, he still got it done. And his way of development is built off of how he was still able to finish his diploma.
Yeah,
Right? So
I think
school still does play a factor.
yeah, I think what you're saying is to the kids out there, it's what you get from school, and when you enter the real world, what you'll bring are the experiences, the people you
Mhm.
meet, the things you learn, not your grades. I'm not
No,
it's there's a thin line here
it's
because people
hard.
are gonna say like I can just flunk. I don't need to be loud
I
or
just
all
gotta
that.
get it.
Yeah, it's tough to talk about this really because it's a sensitive topic. But
Yeah.
yeah, man, that's just really it. Like you just gotta roll with whatever's given to you and try to do your best and try to apply everything that you've learned. I'm sure you don't apply what you learned in math or science or those things. You can't apply it to what you're doing right now. But you're right, man. The
Yeah.
hard work, the resiliency,
Yeah.
the ups and downs. Because bro, having your own it's tough because you're
Mhm.
really invested in it. You're
Oh
invested in
yeah.
it. When you see the numbers go
It's
down,
yeah, that's
like you,
you.
you lose
If
it.
you succeed,
Yeah, bro.
it's on you. If you fail, it's on you. You know,
Yeah,
and can you live with that? As an athlete, as
you gotta live with
athletes,
it.
that we understand that feeling going into the business world,
Yeah, but at the end of the
right?
day, bro, we just didn't want a 9 to 5. That's just it.
Nah, exactly, bro. I'm not trying to work. Yo, why am I trying to make other people rich? That's my thing.
That's true,
You
bro.
know,
I
why
didn't.
am I putting my time in making other people money?
I'm not gonna be an employee, bro. I'm gonna be an employer.
No, but yeah, I mean, think of it like that, dude. You get to help make people help build people up. You get to help make people money.
No, they're gonna make me rich. That's just it, bro.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, you know.
Yeah, bro. That's the life. Those are the experiences of Jared Gallarza, man. I mean, this is
More or
exactly
less.
what the
I mean,
segment is. You're not anymore in
yeah.
basketball. You're not a basketball player anymore, but you found your identity. You found your niche. You found a way to apply everything you've learned throughout your basketball career, and
Hmm.
where you are right now. Obviously, I mean, you're still in basketball, but it's still
Yeah.
different. Still different.
I think, and like, dude, for people that are struggling with life, especially with COVID right now, that you know, thinking, oh, what am I going to do next year? How is this going to affect me like 3, 4, 5 years down the road? If you asked me 5 years ago where I would be, I would never tell you I would have a house with a court, with a fully paid off car, with a fiance that is who she is, and my son growing up to be who he is right now. Like, you can't plan these things out. Like, you can only put in the work today and put in the work, like, and plan to put in the work for tomorrow and just reap the benefits of the work as it goes on. But like, it's hard. Did you, like, before
No.
pandemic, you were thinking, you know, ABS CBN, right? The whole way through. If you
Oh
thought like
my
5 years
god,
ago
bro.
where you would be right
I don't know
now,
where
like,
I'd be right now, bro. To be honest with
yeah, man.
I
So
don't
even
know.
for some people, like such as yourself, the pandemic has put a positive spin in your life,
Oh
right?
yeah, it's just
Give
tough
you a
to
platform.
say because people might take it the wrong way. But
People
I
have,
gotta be
and they've been affected. Yeah.
I gotta be honest, man. Because of pandemic, it made me think of ways to survive. other ways
Yeah.
rather than
Mhm.
when life was easier, you were just like you were chilling because it was cool. But when
Yeah.
you hit a wall, that's when okay, I'm gonna go back home to my parents so
Yeah.
I can start this up again. I had to eat all my pride up because like when I
Yeah.
left my house 4 years ago, I was like I'm never gonna come back. Not because obviously I love my family, but it was more of like an independent thing or like a pride thing.
Yeah.
Like no,
Being an adult. Yeah.
I want to make it on my own. I want to make it in this world, and then you had to suck it up and just go back home so you can
Mhm.
build without the pressure and all that. So
Yeah.
it's something that you got to go through, and you went through that
Yeah,
building
bro.
this. You had to you were thinking of what you were gonna do. You weren't gonna go through 3 years of school again. Fuck that, right? So
Nah, bro.
that's it.
And yeah, like I mean, I don't know how much you guys know about Holly, but she's also like her work ethic is unmatched as well. And
Same.
I think like just being with her is just
You gotta
it
find
definitely
the
put me in a
right person.
position, bro. Yeah, right partner, bro. It's huge. It's huge. If I was with anybody else that I've met that's not Holly from my past experiences and past relationships, I definitely would not be doing what I'm doing, bro. Or
Yeah,
a lot of them probably would have given up on me by now.
I'm not sure too. I
Yeah,
mean,
man.
to this day, I'm not sure if I'm with the right person.
Is she there?
No, she's here. She's outside. She's
What's her
cooking.
name again?
CK.
TK. I heard that.
No, she just arrived. She doesn't live in with me. She just
Okay,
arrived. I heard
okay.
the door, so I was like, "Oh, she's
Yeah,
outside. She's cooking lunch."
yeah, yeah.
So, bro, I'm gonna just give you the time to say what's up to people. People, I've been reading your name on the comment section. I can't lie. I'm like, why do you want JR to be on this show?
I
Like,
thought so
fuck
too,
JR,
bro.
man.
I don't love
Fuck
it. Yeah,
JR, man.
man.
All right, hold up, bro.
So everybody tuning in, thank you very much for being here. Shout out to Mikey too. He didn't dig too deep into my darker past. To everybody in the Philippines, actually, we didn't even get to talk to, like, honestly, we just hit the tip of the iceberg. But I was hoping to get married there with Holly in 2020. We were hoping to do that in 2020. Didn't get the chance to do that, but hopefully when we do eventually get to get back over there and get married, and I get to bring Raina down. I am planning to do it around the basketball season for UAT, so hopefully I get to see you all there supporting UP. I heard it's really hard to get tickets now because UP is just killing and going crazy, and very proud and very happy for them. But yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to sell you guys on anything. I just want to say thank you for your time and thanks for watching, and thanks again for Mikey, great talk show host. I'm here for a relationship segment if he does ever want to bring that up. But but yeah, man.
You can't
We
bring
can
that
leave
up because you're
out.
gonna probably bring mine up.
Oh.
So no.
Yeah, I was ready. I was ready.
No.
I had some names here too. I had to like. I was ready to shout out too.
And there you have it. That's Jared Gallarza. I'm sure everybody learned a lot. And again, yeah, he's right. It's only the tip of the iceberg, but with that in itself already, you already know like people out here, go to school, manage your time, and roll with the punches at the
Yeah.
end of the day. You don't know what's gonna happen. And those who are affected by the pandemic, I think obviously
Mhm.
we were all affected, and you just gotta find a way to survive, and you gotta find a way to make the most of what you have. All right, and
Yeah.
again, family's everything because obviously his life was moved wherever Rainan was or Rainan is. So Rainan is,
Yes, sir.
if by now you still don't
Sleeping
understand,
right
guys,
now.
Rainan is his son. Okay, if by now
Rainen,
you
oh
still
yeah,
don't get
my
it.
Rainen is my 8-year-old son. He's turning
8-year-old.
9. He's sleeping right now. I tucked him in just before I came down here to talk to Mikey. Any young people out there listening on this podcast, listening on this interview, do not do grown-up things until you are ready for grown-up consequences.
Yep.
All right, I'll always leave with that.
Safe
That includes.
sex.
He said it. I didn't. He said it. If you don't know what that word is, ask your parents.
Safe sex.
And also that includes drinking and alcohol and drugs and all that stuff that I have not done since 2016.
Yo, I don't want to
So but yeah, man, you guys just do not do grown up things until you're ready for grown up consequences, and just work today, tomorrow, and you'll see the reward down the road. All
Bro, I
right.
just wanna,
Thank you again, Mikey.
Yeah, for sure, man. I want to congratulate you of everything that you've been doing, what you've done, and of course for Roll. Hopefully, more power to the brand. Hopefully, it's still hopefully it picks back up just because of basketball. I'm sure when I don't know how bad it
Yeah.
is over there. My bad. I don't know how bad it is over there. But over here you can't play
Bro,
ball.
they screwed us, man. Like
So you can't.
like
You still
it's
can't
on
play.
and off. It's on and off. It's on and off. Like
Okay.
it was like they opened things up. They didn't open things up. Basketball Ontario says we're allowed to compete again if your zone is in an orange zone.
Yeah.
But then the government was like, nope, gyms are shut down. They took down the rims of the outdoor basketball courts. Like it was.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
I hope everything
yeah,
goes
man.
back to normal
Whatever.
for your industry. And
Yeah, we'll be all right.
good luck to you. Regards to your fiance. When is the big day?
Getting married?
Yeah, you don't know yet.
We don't know. We were gonna heavily start planning in 2020. Now we got 3 freaking dogs, and I don't know how we're gonna get out of the dogs.
Why
'cause
can't
at the
you
same
just
time, like,
fucking get married? Fuck where? Fuck how? Just get married.
I don't know.
This
Why
guy.
why aren't you getting married, man?
Oh, just wait. All right, guys. I will see you soon. Thanks, brother, for the time, man. Just wait. I'm gonna announce this on this very channel.
I bet you'd honestly propose on this channel too. Like just how much you love doing this now.
I love this channel, man. I love all Banyo people. I love all Banyo.
Hey, I have my role people. I announced my engagement. I don't know if I sent you the video, but
I
like,
did. You did.
or you've seen the video. Well, yeah, I engaged before I did the engagement. I announced it to my camp, before our last week of camp, man. Yeah,
No,
it
they'll
was
know.
just special when you have the people, man.
They'll know. They'll know.
Yeah, man.
I appreciate you, man. You stay
Thanks,
safe
bro.
over there, right? When you visit,
Yeah, man.
visit out here, you already know. You gotta link up.
I got tickets.
To what? Tickets?
I gotta get tickets to the U. I gotta get Rainin in the UP. Even if you take Rainin to the game, and you can just leave me out the gym. I need Rainin to experience.
Oh
the
yeah,
games,
for
man.
sure, for sure. I mean,
Alright,
when
bro.
he
We're
watched
good.
you, he was how old? 2? I mean 3?
Man, this guy could barely open his eyes, bro. Like he was taking naps during the game.
Oh, for real? Oh, and that wasn't even the year
he was
wherein
young. No, he
you
was-
played. That wasn't even the year that when you
No,
played.
it wasn't even my really good year yet. He came my last year when
Yeah,
he had 2
the
head
stressful
coaches.
year.
That was and he came too. Like you know how bad that was. So stressful,
I
man.
know.
He came
I can
like
imagine.
season opener. Anyways, I know I'm gonna let you get back to your.
I appreciate you though, brother.
Tell her I said hello. I haven't. Can I say
for
hi to
sure.
her? Tell her to say what's up, man.
Babe, can you say hi though? She's been
Yo, what are you
hearing.
wearing, bro?
No, like she.
Oh, okay.
She's been hearing Gallarza. She's been like, who's Gallarza? I'm a teammate before.
You're not sure, pa?
Ano? I'm sure na pala. Oh, don't show your hand.
I'm sorry for you got in trouble. Don't show
Oh,
her.
shit. I'ma see you soon, brother. You take care of yourself, bro. I'ma see you soon, bro.
But to help gain weight healthily, JR Gallarza averages 11 a game. He has 15 going, and that first 3 could get this man ni JR Gallarza. We talked about his defense. Resist failure to lead this team, and they get another steal here. Almost a travel there. Gallarza, yes. Sloan driving. Gallarza from outside, yes.
Yep, that's the right idea. On a zone.
Or Moralde chasing for it. Not even close, pero good trail by JR Gallarza.
Yep, yung athleticism.
UP. Gallarza open again. Oh, he nails it again. Wow.